So as always when we're doing Desmos, which if you're not here and you're playing along at home, we're doing Desmos today. There's a certain, progress that we need to make before I want to pull us all back together. So just go ahead and work on your hanging around. Please make sure you actually read what they're asking you to do. It's amazing how helpful reading the directions is. That's for, here, you need the other one too then, Jay.
I got it.
You got 2-1?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got 1-4 and 2-1.
Yes, I have 2-1, I have one.
Did you steal my stack of 2-1?
No, I got it.
I gotta clean them.
There's
No,
extra,
we just had foundations. I had a stack of them. Oh no, my 1-4s are still up there. Okay,
Yeah.
so you got 2-1 and 1-4.
Yep.
You're good. Okay.
Yep.
Goodbye, Jay.
Make sure. Goodbye. Goodbye, all.
Bye, Jay.
On Seth. Let's come back to class. You are trying to make those hangers balance. So I don't know if you guys do your own laundry, but I wish somebody had told me sooner that sweaters should be folded up and put on the hanger. But if it's not in the middle, one side ends up being heavier than the other, and it messes with your closet, and it gets all weird. So you're trying to make those hangers balance, be nice and perfectly balanced. Mr. Jones, I'll make an actual seating chart at some point, because now that I'm doing round tables, I kind of need to draw anew what's going on, but I'm going to take a picture of this. If you need it for anything, I can always share it to you. But I'll actually make a paper copy, because I'm supposed to have one for when we have subs. Yeah, the activities they have built are pretty solid. Now that I have your attention, I know you all get mad at me when I do that, but I appreciate that you didn't actually have a big reaction. If you go to Schoology, which I will unpause so you can if you want to, if you go to Schoology and go to our page, I can't remember if I announced this to your class or not, so tell me if I did. Did we talk about math with Mr. Dell?
No.
Sweet, that's why I'm talking about it now. If you're going to Schoology with me, click on that. Notice how it doesn't go to his home YouTube page, it goes to his playlist page. Look at what the titles of the different playlists. Math 1 and Math 2 are high school math classes. That's your first high school, second high school class. Math 3 would be your third high school class. But if you keep scrolling, you guys know what textbook we're in? CC2, right? Not Math 2, but CC2. CC stands for Core Connections, right? What chapter are we in?
6.
Do you find that playlist here on his YouTube page?
Yes.
For me, at least, it's right beside this teamwork playlist.
What's power of team?
Well, we're not going to worry about that right now. You can do that on your own time. So let's say that you are struggling on one of tonight's homeworks. I don't know, 621. And let's say maybe...
Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at the process of solving equations.
So there's this whole teacher mantra about beg, borrow, and steal. Why make something somebody else has already made? Mr. Dell is a math teacher out in California. Mr. Dell, if you ever see this video, thank you. He teaches a lot of math classes and has posted step-by-step solutions to the homeworks. So, this problem, that's going to be pretty tough on your homework. We'll come back to this here in a little bit. But if you go to my Schoology, I have in Chapter 6 a general help video for factoring. You don't have you do have 621 in front of you right now. This is general Khan Academy help, right? Which Khan Academy help is great, but Mr. Dell's videos are literally the problem you're solving. So take a moment. Let's listen to what Mr. Dell says about how we would do this first problem.
Situation where we have distributed property and factoring, so kind of the reverse of the distributed property. So this is something that is coming from CPM course 2.
So I don't want to let him play through just continuously because I don't want my video to flag. And I think if I play more than 30 seconds continuously, it's going to flag. So you can come back and watch this. It's just in that playlist, right? And he labels them really well of like what is the homework, what is the problem number. But if I skip through this a little bit, he's going to show us how factoring works. So I don't want to let it play because I don't want to get flagged. But I show you in the problem, like in the what's written out, right? Like, but some of you glaze over the whole like written out instructions. You've got video help to walk you through exactly how we do factoring. So we don't need to do that now, but I want to make sure you guys see this other resource. It's gonna go into the links folder. I put it on the home page to make it obvious and so I wouldn't forget, but it's gonna go into the links folder with everything else. All right, so I'm gonna unpause Desmos. Let's try to make those hangers balance. What's up?
So I do not understand what's
So make a hanger using the circles and the squares. So you're just clicking these to add these to the left side, these to the right side, whatever you want, and then explain how this equation is like the hanger. So your equation's down here. I don't know if you've been noticing this. This is changing as you're adding stuff to it. So with what you've built so far, well, now you keep changing it. What you built so far is we had an x and 2 on the left side and a 7 on the right side. So based on this, what would x have to be? Yeah. You're just like building your own what the activity already had.
Oh wait, this the right side is the total?
Well, if these are equal, if it hangs equal, you know that the left and the right have to be the same value.
Yeah.
So in this case, sure, the right side's your total. All right, I'm going to try to get a good shuffle so I'm not just calling people in a row at the same group. Then we're going to pull it back together in a minute to chat. Seems like we all agree on some of this stuff. All right, so you're anonymized up here because I'm recording, right? But if we look at some of what people did, some of you got real crafty, and others of you kept it a bit simpler. But if we look through our friends, on both sides, got a little on both sides reference there. So here, what would X need to be to make these balance? 2, right? What about an M? Oh, Emmy. Holy cannoli. 2x plus 2 equals 210.
Okay.
That's a little... We'll talk about how to deal with problems like that. 5x's equals 20. Has to be equal on both sides. Agree. 4x equals 4. On both sides! Well, I guess there's more s's than there are i's. But... So it feels like
Mostly.
we're referencing back to some algebra. You all agreed on this one. So let's move on to this. I want to talk about how in the world... Now, you might just know what this is. Like, you might just straight up, like, you just know it. But we want to talk about how we could figure it out. Because they're not all going to be like, guys, I'm gonna do it. Don't tell my mom. Okay? This one's easy. This is not. Don't tell me. My mom doesn't watch my YouTube anyways. So this one, you might be like, this is not tough. I know how to do this. Sure, but some of you can just look at this and figure it out. What we need to do is make sure we understand how to do the algebra, which is the on both sides stuff. So,
Now you've set this on video, which means that we can use this against you.
do you think occasionally teachers say bad words outside of school?
Definitely. Yeah, obviously outside of school, but I'm not sure if you notice this isn't outside of school.
Is that really a bad word according to other people?
That is in math, yes. You said it yourself.
Alright, so how could I, Izzy, write what we see here?
Somebody offended.
No, I'm just going to move on and just... How can we write what we see here?
Connections.
3x equals 6, and feel free to write this down if you want to, because this is exactly what we're practicing to, like, get mastered. So, Isaac, I think we all agree that x is 2 here. But how could we show how we get to x being 2 from starting here? Sorry, Isaac K. I was looking your direction.
You could turn the 3x into just 1x.
How?
We would have to divide by 3 on both sides.
So guys, if you need to make the note that this is multiplication, you don't have to show the multiplication, but if you want to, we use a dot now. Can you see why we don't use x anymore?
Yeah.
Because x has a different role now. X is not our multiplication. So Isaac said we can divide by what?
3.
Because that's gonna, what's 3 divided by 3? Don't say 0.
1.
1, right? 3
Did
divided by
someone
3
say-
is 1.
Did someone say 0 earlier?
No, just that's, kids will answer too fast, and their brain goes 3, 3, it's 0, because 3 take away 3 would be 0. But 3 divided by 3 is not. So 1x, what's 6 divided by 3? That's how we get to our answer of 1x is 2. So,
Wait, why did they teach you originally multiplication as x if you're gonna already learn it something else?
no. Mr. Jones is laughing at your question too. I don't, it feels silly.
No,
Right?
when
Like,
they,
Why? Like, and here, they're not even showing the dot anymore. Now, you couldn't just put, like, 4, 2 and say that's 4 times 2. Right, so when you're younger, we need a multiplication symbol.
Well, yeah, but why don't you just use the dot?
I think it's because they're worried you'll confuse it with the decimal point. Like, I think.
how
But
much
it still annoys me. I
But you
still
still-
don't agree.
But
I'm not defending
Hey.
what they did.
the time that they got when I was younger, decimals weren't even introduced until much later.
Okay.
So by the time that decimals were
Soul,
introduced,
I empower you to try to change it. Get,
I
like, go
will.
into education, become some, like, math leader, and tell everyone we gotta change how we do this. Have we all made it past slide 5? I don't think so. I'm gonna unpause you guys, because I think most of us are right about here. I'm gonna let you get a little bit more work time on your own before I pull you back together. Okay, but what I just showed you should probably help you be able to figure out slide 5, slide 6 as we move forward. So you're still on slide 4. Go ahead and try to move on, because you were just essentially building your own. You'll have another chance to make a challenge for your teammates, for your classmates.
I tried to convince my little brother to use the dot instead of the X. He's like, "You're wrong. That makes no sense." And I'm like, "Oh, wait till you get in 6th grade."
Yeah. Now become a teacher who's been teaching as long as the kids have been alive, and have them tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. Right? Like, just change your roles from your brother and you. So, like, you know, if you're a teacher and a student, it's like, sometimes I do know what I'm talking about.
Really?
Only sometimes. Only on days that end in a Y. I was thinking I could not do what I do without dual monitor. Like, I don't think it would be possible. Ooh! Got some visuals of what we're doing here. Well, I need to anonymize, though. I want to show it, but I don't want to record it. Who can tell me what's going on in this visual? What they're trying to, like, show is happening. It doesn't have to be like that you did it. Anyone able to see like what they're doing? Monsef?
They divided by 4.
Yeah, they're splitting this up. Right, now the tricky part is 11 is not as nice of a number, like the one that we called E word. I'm not going to say it again. But yeah, if 11 is equivalent to 4x, I got to split my 4x's up, so I also got to split my 11 up. I love it. Keep on going, guys. Ooh, this is fun. All of you marked the same answer on this problem. But there's another right answer. So all of you marked this. Literally all of you. You all agreed. If you've clicked on this, if you've done this slide, you clicked that. Griffin?
The other answer is 11 equals x plus x plus x plus x.
Now, why did you guys all default to this one? Because this is right also, but I like this one better. I agree with you guys. Why do we want to default to that one? What are we going to be able to do? So, Anaya wants to figure out what x is, right? Use the hanger equation to determine the value of x that balances the hanger. And I could do the 5D type thing and guess. Is 2... No, 2's too small. 5 would be too big. We got to figure out how we get there. So if you're not writing stuff on graph paper, that's an interesting choice. But I'm going to leave that up to you. If Anaya says she wrote out this equation, because we all agree that that's right, then Rad, what could I do to get x by itself? So that's what we have right now. We have 4 times x right now. We want 1x. We kind of want to get rid of the 4, but mainly we need to get it to a 1. We need to take 4x, turn it into just 1x. I can remind you what we did back here. Remember, this one, we used E word on this one because the numbers are real nice. So here, the numbers are not as nice. What could we do to turn our 4x into 1x? Do you know?
No, I was working on the typing.
It's okay. Van, you know what we could do here? So, anybody, because Jenny's not here, Jenny, get healthy. What is happening here? How is the 4 and the x connected?
Because there's 4 x's.
But how, what is happening between that 4 and that x? Is it addition?
Division.
You're on the next step, Monsef. Hear what I'm asking.
Multiplication.
Yes! This is multiplying, Soul. I'm sorry. Wow. So what can we do, Soul?
So you do 11 divided by 4, which is 2.75, which means
Do you
x.
just do it on the left?
You
You do it where?
On
On both sides! Look, when you are solving some problem in high school or college, and you almost forget to do it on both sides, and then you hear this little voice, you will thank me. You won't physically ever thank me. I don't expect you to. But maybe quietly you will. So guys, so we can get a little funny as long as we come back and it makes sense. To undo multiplication, we're essentially doing inverse operations, right? We're trying to undo stuff. We're going to divide, because 4 divided by 4 is what? 1. And that's what we want. That was our goal all along. So now 1x, those of you that did this calculation, 2.75. Questions on that? Soul?
What are you quoting? I feel like you're quoting.
Nothing.
Really?
I mean, it might be from something. Where this came from
You're
was...
just doing. I'm not sure if this
Your
is just my
brain.
dad, but my dad has his voice when he's quoting something, and you're doing something that's very similar.
Okay, so
to that.
Shama, who's in one of our math tests, maybe the last one that we just took, Shama was a 7th grader last year. She was in my accelerated class. When we were teaching this to that class, she kept getting annoyed that I'd be like, where? And we'd all be like, on both sides. Like, to make that, and like, as she got more annoyed, remember, I'm the youngest child in my family. Right? I only have older siblings. So, as Shama got more annoyed, I kept doing it more and more because it's fun. So then it just became a thing of like, on both sides, and it just evolved over time.
It's keeping.
Did she come into the classroom yell on both sides as she was leaving?
Yes, she transferred schools. Like her family moved, she had to transfer schools, so she's not here anymore. She came to our one canteen. I mean, you guys probably didn't meet her. She was an 8th grader. But yeah, she's been here a couple times this year. All right, so let's look at the paper that you have, and let's practice doing this to actually solve a math problem. Anyone want to read for us? Monsef, go ahead and read about Sandeep and the bowling alley.
Sandeep works at a bowling alley that currently charges players $3 per red shoe and $4 per game. However, his boss is thinking about charging $11 to rent shoes and $2 per game. If a customer rents shoes and plays 2 games, will he or she pay more with the current price plan or the new price plan? Show how you know.
All right, so let's color code some things, and your colors don't have to match mine. I mean, you can if you want to. I'm going to use blue and green just because they're kind of easier for me to use. Yes. Well, notice the default highlighter colors that come up.
Well, yeah, but like.
And notice how yellow,
Green, yellow.
but yellow doesn't write very well on white. And currently I have to write on white. So that's what, yes.
Right on white. I'm gonna do the 2 colors that you are.
Guys, has anyone figured out how many days of school we have left? Because it's like a scary small number. I mean, not scary small, but
I have a count.
We have like 3 months.
when you're like, oh, I've realized that you always, it's funny because, yeah, we've been in here for a while. So, like, yeah, we're getting near the end. If I were to write out an equation,
There's 85 days.
right, for cost.
85?
Yeah.
Now, hold
That's a
on.
lot. That's a lot.
Hey, we all went bowling back in the fall, like, unless you didn't go with us.
Oh, yeah.
How many games do you think you played? Only one?
No.
2, 3, some of you maybe got into a 4th game, right? How many pairs of shoes? Okay, well, that's a bad example. We didn't let you guys get shoes, did we?
No.
Okay, when you normally go bowling, how many pairs of shoes do you need?
One.
What? Because you only have 1 pair of feet, right? So how many times will I pay this $3? Just once. How many times will I pay the $4? It depends. So what variable could we use for games? G. Let's use variables that make sense. Try to write out an equation for what the boss wants to do. And then I want a couple people to share their thoughts on, like, do you like what the boss is proposing? Do you not like
Does
it?
it make sense?
Well, it's hold on. I'm gonna use cards. By the way, humble brag, I went bowling this weekend with my fraternity. That might have been what got me sick because there was a bunch of us. It was a fundraiser. I took 2nd place in the tournament.
Wow.
You're sick?
I was on Monday. I took a sick day because I felt like crap.
Right.
I feel like every day is
But like people brought their kids, like little kids were there, and we were like teaching them how to bowl and stuff. And I always think kids are what get you sick probably because somehow they just are always sick.
They
Like,
always
little
have
kids are
germs.
always a little bit sick. All right, thoughts on the boss's proposed change? Asher, what are you thinking? Do you like it? Do you agree with the change? Do you want to stick with the old pricing model? Why?
Because they're only getting 1 shoe, but they're probably going to get multiple games.
So we're only doing shoes once, but we're going to do multiple games. So the boss wants to up the price of shoes, right?
That's so much
By like a
more.
lot.
That's so much more.
But what does he do to the price of games?
Lowers it.
Lowers it. So this asks us, what about 2 games? Can anyone tell me how you think I could figure out the price at 2 games? Izzy?
Multiply the cost of 1 game by 2.
Make G equal to 2, which is exactly like what your homework is going to do. So where we see G, we're going to replace it with 2. Right? They ask us figure out 2 games. So for the blue one, really this should drop down here. For our blue cost, it's going to be 3. That's not what I want. It's going to be 3 plus, what am I going to write after that 3 plus? Link, you want to help me out? What are we making G? We know what G is now. Unless you were totally spaced out and not paying attention. And in that case, you should probably just pass. Swing yourself around the table so you're actually facing me. If you're going to do that, get something to write on. Because you need to be able to face this way and write at the same time. There is plenty of table where you could face this way. Monsef, what am I making? What am I writing after the 3 plus? Well, it's going to turn into 8. I 100% agree. We're replacing what was G with the value of 2. We're going to do the same thing with our green cost, but let's figure this out while we're here. Monsef said that's going to be 8. What's 8 plus 3? 8 plus 3, I think, is 11.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, guys. I'm already suspicious about the boss's pricing plan.
I was for.
Because the boss's pricing plan is going to be 11 plus... Anna, what am I writing after my 11 plus? It's going to be 4, right? Because it's going to be 2 times 2, so this is really going to be 11 plus 4, which is what? 15. So whose pricing plan is better if you're bowling 2 games? The old one, right? The old plan's better.
So if you do
Ooh, do not tell me when they're equal. Are you about to tell us when they're equal?
not specifically,
Even generally, can you hang on to your thought for like 30 seconds? Okay, more like 90 seconds, probably. I'm not in a time machine today. You only have so many things to be mad at me about.
What do you do with that?
I have several things to be
So-
mad at you about.
I start wondering, there's got to be a point when they're, well, not gotta, but there's probably a point when they're actually equal, right? Because here, the shoes went up, but the games got cheaper, right? Shoes cost more, but games are less. Don't tell me the answer. Do you have a question? Thank you. So, let's set up figuring out when they're going to be equal. Let's put the old pricing plan. Let's put the old pricing plan that, what was it, 3 plus 4G? Yeah? Let's make it equal to the new pricing plan. 11 plus 2G. Wake your computer back up. Sorry, that took too long that your computer's asleep. Go to Schoology.
We can go on a journey.
Go in the Chapter 6 folder. And click on Best Steps for Solving. In Chapter 6, Best Steps for Solving. And you're going to want to keep this up as we start using these other symbols here later this class. Ooh, did we draw a center line yet? So if we look at the here we go, if you're looking at Schoology like I'm asking, have we drawn a center line down our workspace?
Yeah, I have.
I haven't. So I mean, so guys, keep that open because I can't show everything at the same time. Keep that open. Let's draw a center line down the middle. If you have not done this, you're obviously not as good as Soul.
Oh, dang.
I mean, I'm the greatest.
Shade.
Okay, Soul the greatest. What's the next step? What does it say after the center line?
There's a lot of terms, combined terms on either side.
So can I combine anything on the left side? No. Can I combine anything on the right side?
No.
No. So then, Griffin, what's it say next?
Next is, if there are variables on both sides, get rid of the lowest variable.
So do we have variables on both sides?
Yep.
On both sides. What's our lowest? 2G, right? Our lowest, how do I get rid of a positive 2G? A negative 2G, right? So we're just going to apply negative 2G. What was that?
On both sides.
What was that?
On both sides.
Negative 2G on both sides.
I'm only gonna
And then our right side now just has the 11. Mason's not here. Mason, feel better. Make sure we're writing this down, guys. This is on your paper. You've got some space off to the right. Like, you've got open space. Or do it on graph paper or grab a post. Like, this is exactly what you're going to be asked to do in your homework. Harrison, what's it say to do next? We just got rid of the lowest variable.
You have to, now that the variables are on one side, get the constants on the other side.
So the variables have essentially taken over the left-hand side, right? The G's are like, this is ours now. It's like when my dog hikes her leg, it says, this is mine. So we want to get rid of this 3. How do we get rid of that 3? Ooh, plus negative. I love that you said that. Or we can call it subtraction, I guess. We do. We don't. I don't use the word hate normally, but we don't like subtraction. But we're allowed to do that here. But I love that Montef said plus a negative. Right? Negatives cancel out positive. I didn't even make you say on both sides here. And yet you did. You know, we look at this classroom as like we've got like the left side, the right side. On both sides. All right, so now we have 2G. 2G equal to what?
11.
On both sides. Harrison fell in the trap. I'm telling you, if you don't get like in the habit of thinking through on both sides, Harrison just fell in the trap.
I will laugh at Harrison.
So what's the right side? 8. Now what can we do like we did twice earlier? We can divide by that 2 on both sides and get G equals 4. So at 4 games, apparently the 2 price models are equal. So,
Since you said that the room is split evenly, I now had to move to the center because I have to be special.
I didn't like evenly split people, right? Like
Well,
that.
yeah,
didn't
but
actually-
now I just have to be at the dead center because I can be special.
There you go.
Sol thinks she's special.
So how could we solve for x here? Sophie, what are you thinking? How could we solve if this is 4x equals 6? And I know some of us haven't gotten to this slide yet, but if you get to this slide of 4x equals 6, what could we do to get back to just 1x? Do we only do it on that side? We're doing it on both sides. But what you said is absolutely right. We're dividing by 4. Oh, why am I about to write a decimal? When have I chosen a decimal over a fraction this year? But I guess if you want to write it as a decimal, you can. All right, here's the deal. You should be back in my room before all the other classes release. So if all the other classes release and you're still on break, get back in here. Okay? But you should go take a break. Get up, go walk around, get a drink, like take a break. Maybe don't go on both sides of the school. Maybe just stay on this side.
Let's go on both sides.
I'm gonna be the dead center.
What would be the dead center of the school?
Give me back my hat, husband.
Well, like the entire school.
You have a hat husband?
No, he stole my hat
Give me like my hat.
and happens to be some
Our punctuation.
teenagers. Is all of this making me angry? Are you doing all this to make me angry purely because that one time I broke your heart?
No,
Okay.
not purely.
Soul definitely does.
Oh, wow.
That's definitely part of it.
That one
I like that Mr. Jones at least caught.
Guys, I just crashed out my computer.
Nice.
Can I have a charger?
Should be in the pink bin or they're plugged in. So if it's not there, check the other plugs.
When it says to type in an answer, I typed 1 million digits
Wait,
My
you
computer is crashing out.
Hey, so yeah, that's unhelpful and honestly just slows us down considering like the class is kind of moving as a whole. So I would love if we could just do what we're supposed to. Crazy, things go more efficiently that way. Alright, we are going to do unbalanced hangers, but real quick, come back with me. Well, actually, I'll unpause and go yell at people to get back in the classroom. Yeah, because I know some of us aren't here, but we do need to finish those couple things in the middle of that page that you got. We got another Desmos. Math people, let's go!
My head is broken.
Yeah, just wait until you like are at conference. Well, you guys aren't at conferences all night, but us teachers are here until like 8:30 tonight.
I'm trying to get like patterns of headaches like almost every day at the same time.
You probably aren't eating or drinking enough.
No, even when I drink water, it's more eye related. Or trying to take me to the eye doctor. It's like eye focus headaches.
Yeah. Hey, so on your 621, sorry that I gave you another paper before I was actually done with this, but on your 621, we're looking at the middle here. So notice how the first one just has a question mark, but then they start to have the equals in the middle. If you see on your homework, like you see on your homework, this means we've got a left side and a right side, and they are equal to each other. But if we start by looking at this first one here, it gives us the reminder shaded in is positive, not shaded or like empty is negative. All right, so if we look up here and we try to figure out what's on my left side, what's on my right side, Isaac B, can you help me with what's on my left side?
The left side has 4x.
I failed. I was going to try to put you two on separate sides of the room so I could like point myself towards which Isaac I was, but it's already, it is what it
Good
is.
job, Isaac.
No,
It is
you
what
already
it is.
changed it.
Isaac
You
B.
can change it.
Well, because you guys walked in, I said, "Where do you want to sit?" And I just like let people kind of choose where. But like I made the groups, but okay, go ahead.
So wait, on that A?
Yeah, on mat A, left side.
4x and
4x and 3, right? Because we remember our x tiles versus our 1 tiles. Can we put those together?
No.
No. Guys, this is on your paper. If you're not writing this down, Link, I don't know why you're not writing this down. So mat B, Callum, you want to help me with what we see on mat B?
You can see 2x plus 12, I think.
11? I think.
Plus 11.
It's 11.
Yeah, double count that. I want you to chat with your... Thank you. I was just coming to do that. I want you to chat with your team real quick, like 30 seconds. Which side's bigger?
Well, we don't know.
Thanks for announcing the answer to the class, Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison.
I know, you weren't that loud. Everyone else was just really quiet. Harrison, say more.
We don't know because 4x, we don't know what x is.
Okay, what if x is 100? Which side's bigger?
Left side.
The left side, right? It'd be
Because it's
403.
plus 3.
What if x is 1?
Then it would be the other side.
that side.
Then it'd be, if x is 1, then it'd be this side, right? But if we don't know what x is, we literally don't know which side's bigger.
Wait, really?
Unless
Yeah.
somebody
Oh,
tells you
well.
what x is,
Some minus.
you don't know. But we start to just go ahead and say, these sides are equal. Tell me what x has to be. So in the second one that we see, we're not going to solve that one. We're actually, for sake of time, we're going to move on to this. What do we see here that we didn't see on the other one? Kyra, can you notice any sort of like tiles here that we see here that we didn't see on the other one? The negatives. Remember what we can do with the negative?
They connect.
You're not Kyra!
Sorry.
Yeah! I can connect a negative with a what? And they make 0, right? So they wipe each other out. So let's do that to make our life easier. Let's do that to make our life easier. And let's write down what we have. I'm going to give you a minute to get started.
I write
You-
down
Do that cancellation. So Soul, what do I see up here? What's on the left? It was literally Soul's card.
Oh, yay. 3x plus 1.
We're working over here. I know you're gonna have to log in and do now, but you're not doing what you're supposed to. Sorry, Soul, what was that?
3x plus 1.
3x plus 1.
And the other is x plus 5.
X plus 5. And this symbol tells us left side is equal to the right side. We are now tasked with figuring out how, right? Like what X makes this happen. Work with your teammates. You can look at Schoology if you need to for that list of like what to do. Work with your teammates, figure out what X is. Be able to tell me what I should do.
It's 2.
When I came back here and figured out what you were doing, and these were already done, I will let you be. This one's done, and you have work written out to show me what you did. Yet, you're unaware of what you don't have done because you're not paying attention.
I'm assuming this is correct, but it feels like it's not.
You don't have any work to support it. I don't know. I don't know because I can't see work. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not saying you're right. What? Show me some work. Izzy, I feel like you were the first person I called.
Okay.
If you didn't get called, my bad. But I really feel like I've definitely called on Izzy already, so I'm shuffling.
Okay.
Has
I
Izzy
tried to
been
only
called
skip
today?
people that are sick, or a couple people passed, but... Alright, Kyra. I know you just got called on, but I just shuffled. Can you give me advice on what I could do first? Like how? If we go back and look at this for advice... Ooh, I didn't draw the center line yet, so I should probably do that. Let's draw center line real quick. This just keeps us honest of like left side versus right side as we're doing things on both sides. So then if there's a lot of terms, okay, there's not a lot of terms. I don't think I can combine anything like left side, right side. So if there's variables on both sides, what do? Get rid of the lowest, right? Which one's lower here, 3x or x? Because how many x is this? 1. If you want to put a 1 in front of any variable that doesn't have a coefficient, which is what we call that number in front, you can put a 1 in front of it. It's like saying 1 Harrison. It's kind of awkward when you count 1 of something because we assume 1 of something. Or when I say 1 of Monsef was late to class or you don't really have to say 1. But yeah, the 1 is the lesser. So if we subtract 1x from both sides,
I think 5 of me.
or
would
add
be-
negative x,
I think 5 of me would absolutely be delightful.
There's actually, I only have 8/9 of me.
Yeah.
okay, so 1 of Harrison, what do I do now?
Oh, that's me. Oh.
Literally, your card came up.
You have to. Wait. Yeah. So now, because there's still you have to combine. Wait.
If there are variables, we did that. Get rid of the lowest variable.
You have to get the variables. Wait. The constants on the other side. You have to get constants on.
Ooh, so again, variables kind of claimed our left side. This just kind of keeps happening for some reason. But that +1, they're saying, get out of here. How do we get that +1 out of there?
Minus.
We -1, or plus a negative 1. On both sides.
We're gonna try matrix.
I'm not going to drive you anywhere because I'm not allowed to. That's in the policies. Not allowed to transport students. And then Link,
Bus drivers.
what could I do to get to a single x? It is very much raining.
That was a thunder.
Divide by what? Where?
On both
On both sides. We're gonna divide by 2. Right? Agreed. We have time to do what we need to. Reminder, you won't see me tomorrow. Because we're blocked today, you won't see me tomorrow. So,
I actually did this in a different way. Is that okay?
did you get the same answer?
Yes.
You took a different route, you got to the same place.
I did.
Have I told you guys about Disney yet?
No.
We're going to Disney. I'm not being truthful. But if we were going to Disney, if Isaac decides to fly, Izzy decides to drive, I decide to ride my bike, I'll see you there in 3 years. Like, could we all get to Disney taking different routes to get there? Yeah. And if we all end up at Disney, are we all at the right place?
Yeah.
Yes. So there are other... So I don't know if I want you to share what you did, because I don't want people to get confused. I get it. You're feeling pretty solid, but I don't want you to confuse anyone. There are other paths to get where we need to go. They are not wrong. Well, some of them are wrong, but some of them are right. There are at least 4 different ways to solve this problem.
Would Rain and Gillis please report to the Perry office for dismissal?
Would Rain and
Rain
Gillis?
and Gillis to the Perry office for dismissal,
All right.
please.
Real quick, because Soul was mad at me when I wouldn't discuss what was right or not right. What could I do up here? Izzy, tell me one thing at least.
Okay, well, you could make the negatives and the positives. You could
Group up your negatives and positives. Some awkward circling here. Kind of looks like glasses. Sweet. Okay, so that all wiped out. Cancel. Cancel. Cancel.
Cancel.
Cancel.
On YouTube.
Cancel.
I did say the E word earlier in class. You guys might try to cancel me.
Yeah, X equals
You're canceled, Mr. Hudson.
X.
X.
Now,
X equals
Can-
0. That's it.
X equals 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many pizzas do I have right now?
0.
I have
Your card's
I
full.
have 0 pizzas. Like 0 is a counting number, right? Like or it's a
Zero.
real number. So I don't know if it counts as a counting number, but it's a real number, right? You can have 0 of something. All right. So now, sorry, I just got too excited, moved on to that too quickly. Now we're on our unbalanced hangers. So let me unpause. You should be on unbalanced hangers now.
Let's get on balance.
Because they're not equal. What would indicate what would indicate something being heavy? It being like lower or it being higher? Lower, right? The heavier is gonna go lower. The heavier is gonna go lower.
You didn't anonymize us yet.
Yeah. I only need to do that if I pull you guys into this screen. I'm okay with you guys seeing who said what. Right? Like if you don't want your thoughts connected to your name, maybe change the thoughts that you're sharing. I'm not worried about you. I just mean in general, like if you want to be anonymized, go get on Reddit. Like I don't know, in here, like we know who you are. Like don't like I'm not actually. Well, I did just join the Reddit forum for like the vehicle that I'm driving now. Like it can be beneficial to be on forum websites, but there's a lot of bad stuff out there. And there's a lot of misinformation. You can't just trust random strangers. Even if they say, I'm a mechanic, I would not trust them. So, if I look at this yellow bar, I don't want to pause you guys or anything, but I think most of you are past this. I mean, I can see that most of you are past this. Which side's heavier? The left or the right?
Left.
The left, right? It's lower. Okay, so then if I look at this bar, which is heavier? The square or the triangle? The square. So the square is going to be our heaviest, but be careful, we're going lightest to heaviest. So what's the lightest here? That circle. Yep, circle's the lightest, square is the heaviest.
And triangles in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not nice. I love triangles.
I'm worried that some of you are going to work too quickly. Hey, get in the activity. Say your whatever in the activity. I'm worried some of you are going to work too quickly, and I can already see 4 of you have, and have given me the wrong answer. You're one of them. So if you've moved past slide 2, go back and reread it. Reread what it's asking you to do. And make sure you think up here about which side's heavier. Which side's heavier, the left or the right? The left is heavier, right? This side is heavier because it's lower. But that side's heavier because it's lower. So they're asking you, what X are you allowed to use? Okay. I was about to say. Don't do that. It makes me scared. Okay, Soul. Now you're just showing off.
What'd she do?
I'll show you in a minute. Van, are those your only options? I like the options you gave, but be prepared for me to like poke at that answer and say, are those the only options? Kyra, it's gonna be mad that you're typing in words. I love what you're typing, but it wants a number. Because on the next screen, it's going to plot the numbers that you guys put in. So, like, Van can't type in multiple numbers. Soul's getting away with what they're doing, but, like...
What are you doing?
we'll see it when you go to the next slide. You'll see it. So just keep moving forward. And if you don't notice it, I'll point it out.
Wait. Oh my God, Soul.
I'm not laughing, we're dying.
Soul can only
I want to
have
see
9.
what
Think
happens.
about it all laughing.
I want to see what happens.
Van, did it let that work?
No.
I think that's, like, I love what you're saying. What you're saying is true. I don't think it will let you type that. Alright, so here's some of our answers. 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3.999999999999999999999999999999999. 9. So why? Look, I could just stop my question at why. But like, why? Why are you typing in 3.9 like forever? Why not just type 4?
Because it has to be technically less than 4. That is less than 4.
So why does it have to be technically? I love when you guys say technically when it's not necessary.
Technicality.
Why does it have to be less than 4?
Because
What if X is 4?
Because then it would be equal.
And we don't want this to be equal.
So it's technically not equal.
Right, so if X is 4, so then guys, we're going to see this when you put in, when we come here, not summary. Yeah, teacher. Wow, this is slow from up here. So you start to see all these dots.
That's nice.
I love thunderstorms.
I love the sound of
That's
it.
bad when you're driving a tin can.
That's why I got a headache.
That sounds
Oh, you're fine. The buses are safe.
I always get headaches.
So wait, look at this, guys. And some bozo, me, but I don't think it took my answer, typed like -5. Could, like, think about this. What if I make -5? Would 14 still be heavier if I make X -5?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, so I don't think it accepted my answer because, you know, I'm the teacher and not the student, but exactly what Soul was saying is shown right here. 4 is essentially our cutoff point, right? Of like, we can have anything up to 4, but 4 makes it not true, so we can't do it.
And 3.9 to infinity is technically less than 4.
Grab your 6.1.4 paper, and I want to explain to you why we did 2-1 before we did 1-4. So, how CPM is structured, and anyone notice we skipped, like, where's 6-1-1, 1-2, 1-3, like, we skipped all those, right? We're skipping lessons because, first off, it's not totally necessary, and we don't have enough school left, if we're being honest.
That's weird.
So, I thought I had captured. So this is on your paper, right? 3x minus 1 less... Ooh, crap, I already gave it away. If you don't know how to call that symbol, go back. Can you click the Schoology even while I have you pause? Like, are you able to?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have these printed for you. So I was trying to figure out if I could print them in color, because here's the one thing I'm trying to print for you. The color really helps. So, like, that's why I didn't have them ready today. I was trying really hard to, like, figure out color printing for you guys. Even if I just have to manually print it and can't make copies, I want to do it. Like, I want to print that for you guys. But we're going to treat inequalities the same way as equalities, except we don't end up with one answer. We can end up with, like, a ton of different answers. So, on your paper, what should we start by drawing according to that little cheat sheet? A line down the middle. Because I like it dotted. Why do you judge everything I do?
I was curious.
Also, solid lines feel like more of like you can't cross this when really we're not crossing the line, but we are kind of like doing stuff that quote unquote moves stuff around. It doesn't really like. All right, but I want to see. I want to try to like pick up the vibe on how well we're doing with this. Link, what could I do first here? And check your. Dang it, you're good. I'll come back to you. Monsef, what could I do first here? Check your Schoology notes if you need. So, nothing on the left side to combine, nothing on the right. I think we got to skip that step. I don't think we need to do that here.
If there are variables on both sides, get rid of the lowest variable.
Are there? Okay, let's get... what's the lowest variable? How do I get rid of it? Yeah, so on our paper, what we should be practicing writing is we're going to show minus 2x. So I should see pencils connected to papers. 3x minus 2x, 1x minus 1. Who can tell me what this symbol is called? Ooh, less than or equal. Wait, now the right side just has 0? Rad, what can I do now?
Can you pull it up? I don't have it on.
I think we did this step already.
Okay, so.
Yeah. Now, and that's one of those like tricky things. I can't just like move it. How do I get constants on the other side? What am I going to do to clear out that -1? Yeah! I love how detailed Monsef is being now. Add +1. And we get x less than or equal to 1. Now this is when we get into how to graph our number lines, or our like solutions. Just checking if I had pulled it on there or not. So I like writing some stuff on my paper so when kids come back from being sick, I like have it to hand to them. Guys, this is going to be like the simplest number line you can ever make. So draw a number line. I actually don't like that I closed in my arrows. That kind of bothers me. The only number I'm going to ask you to put on here is the important one. What's our important number here? 1. That's the only number we care to write on the number line. Then, we're going to put points that make this true. Anna, tell me a number less than or equal to 1. 0. Sure, 0. And that'd be like here. Griffin, give me another.
-1.
Sure. Van, give me another.
-2.
Sure. Kyra, give me another number less than or equal to 1. Sure. Soul, please save me. Like, literally, your card's up next now. Give me another one.
0.999.
No, well. So, Soul, you kind of played the joke on yourself. Here, this little line down here, we say or equal.
Well, yeah, but it still counts.
Yes, I know. But what I was really hoping that you would do is be like, well, everyone's going that direction. Can I have x be 1? Yeah, because it's or equal. So guys, here's how we plot inequalities. If x is not allowed to be 1, we'd leave it open.
Is it?
But x is allowed to be 1 because x is less than or equal. So we're going to shade in that point, and then we're going to shade all those other points that we already talked about, and put an arrow on the end and say, yeah, that keeps going, right? What x is allowed to be keeps going. So this is showing us
Literally anything negative.
x is less than or equal to 1. And yes, as Harrison said, it could literally be anything negative or 0
Or it can be
or
0.99999.
1. Or it could be 0.9 repeating.
So
I want you to try to draw the graph for this. Now, is this less than or equal? No, it's just less than. Draw the graph. Draw the graph for A there. 1 is less than negative 1.5. 1 is less than negative 1.5. So guys, there's nothing to solve here. So if you drew that line down the middle, like, there's nothing to solve here. We're just practicing drawing the number line. So, like, what's the important number in this problem? Negative 1.5. So that's the number that we're going to put on the number line. We just normally put it in the middle. Just because that's the only number we care about right now.
It's special.
Sophie, can you tell me a number less than negative 1.5? Now be careful, this is negative. So we want, like, farther down, right? Sorry, what was it? Negative 1's actually higher than negative 1.5. I know, negatives are tricky. So we want something like less, because they say x is less than negative 1.5. So we need lower. Okay, yeah, now as people are shouting stuff out. Negative 2, negative 3, negative 5, right? Like,
negative 15,000.
So hold on.
9999999.
So you guys just gave me a lot of numbers out here. Can x be negative 1.5?
No.
So we leave it open. Guys, you're going to want this on your paper because you're going to be asked to do this. I don't know why some of us aren't. Try B.
Wait,
I would write it
what do
out
we do?
with like symbols first. That's it. We're just showing. We're making a graph to show the solutions. But we had to leave this open because we were not equal to, right? Because we were just less than. Isaac K, what's the important number in part B?
2.
2. So 2 is the important number we're putting on there. Asher, are we trying to shade, or are we trying to have numbers bigger than 2 or less than 2? Bigger. They say greater than, right? That's the technical way to say it. So bigger, greater than. Can I be equal to 2? Ah, because they say or equal.
What was that in?
Questions? What is C showing us? Take a moment, try it on your own, try to write it down on your paper. It's okay if you get it wrong. What is C showing us? What section, like what is being shaded? So we want to say like X is, and then we're going to have to pick greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. We've got all those different symbols to choose from. Callum, want to take a shot at this? What X is? X is allowed to be 2. Is it only 2? So we're going to have the or equal. This is not minus. That's the or equal, because Callum's identifying, hey, we're allowed to be equal. So then above it, the question is, do I want a less than symbol or a greater than symbol of like the numbers that are being shaded? Are they less than 2 or bigger than 2? Less than. So x is less than 2. Harrison? Well, sorry, less than or equal, right? Because we said we're allowed to be or equal. What are what?
Those things on the wall.
Those are just little clips that hold up posters that actually, I don't even know where those posters are now. They were little, like, copy paper size, but there were like 5 of them taped together. So, you have the remaining 10. No! Crap, sorry, I just keep getting really excited. There's one more problem we want to talk about. Take a moment to read through these. We want to graph what it's asking us to show. So, like, for part A, we're graphing what could, not would, what could get you a ticket. So we're trying to like well, let's do one together. Let's do one of these together to make sure this makes sense.
To get a ticket?
You don't want to.
I know,
But we're graphing that.
Talking about that.
Because that's what it's asking us to graph. Like, I don't know how to answer that differently.
So people are trying to get tickets?
No, they're trying to see what would get them a ticket so they can avoid that.
Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. All right,
But you would
so-
have to figure it out by getting
Harrison,
Okay,
let it go. Isaac B, what's the important number here? Yeah, sure feels like 65. Now, always with that important number, we're going to put a circle around it, like around that tick mark, because then we have to decide, do I shade it? Do I leave it open? So if I'm shading what would get a ticket, Link, what direction should I shade for, like, could get a ticket? Above 65 or lower than 65? Above, right? Because this is like 68, 70, 75, 80, maybe way too fast.
way too fast.
If, Anna, if I'm driving 65, are they going to pull me over and give me a ticket?
No!
Harrison,
My bad.
notice how I said a person's name at the beginning of the statement. That means the statement was directed towards them. It's like you're saying your line out of script. Like, you're not respecting the script. Come on, man. You're a story writer. You know it's important to respect those things. Anna! Will I get a ticket for going the speed limit? No, they say, like, set your cruise at that. Or set your cruise lower than that. But yeah, like, what'll get me a ticket? Over there. Alright, try the mall question. This one's a bit more tricky. Try that on your own. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to head start. Well, at least one. You guys have all been to the mall.
Sure.
I don't love going to the mall anyways. Now here, I will advise you, don't put your 10 in the middle. I would put your 10 shifted a little bit. And we'll see why in a moment. You're shading how much money can you spend. You're shading how much money can you spend. We're shading what we're allowed to spend. If this runs into the reason we're allowed to spend. Curious, sir. Curious, sir. Curious, sir. I think what I'm referencing is from Alice in Wonderland.
How you are? How tall are you?
Me? Tall enough. My wife keeps me around to reach the stuff on the top shelf. No, I'm 6'2". On a good day.
On a good day.
If I'm slouching, I might not be. But like my wife yells at me for slouching. She's like, "Why are you're like you're taller than that?" And I'm like, "Okay, I am until I slouch."
You're 7.
Soul?
Not 7.
I just, okay, as mad as you get, thank you for quoting Alice in Wonderland. It's like one of my favorite things ever.
Did you know?
And I have the book.
I might. Well, I doubtless will wrote it for you. Did you know? Lewis Carroll, the writer of Alice in Wonderland, is a mathematician.
Oh, I did not know that. That's cool.
How is
If
that?
I forget tomorrow, remind me. I have a book to bring for you. You might. It might be on that shelf actually. Let me look for it here in a bit. All right. Isaac, well, I know, that's why I said it won't ruin it for you, but other people are like, ew, I liked that story, but now, no. There's a lot of math in Alice in Wonderland if you pay attention for it. Isaac K., give me one amount that I can spend if I brought $10 to the mall. $9.
$9.
Griffin, give me another amount.
$1.
$1. Sophie, give me another amount I could spend. All 10. Sophie's not taking any money home. Brought $10, might as well leave it all there. Anna, give me another. Sure. Link, give me another.
7.
Sure. Isaac B, give me another.
7.
Asher,
10.
do you all just have to spend money? Have you ever had somebody say, here, go to the mall? And you just didn't spend the money?
No, we don't go to the mall.
So guys, 0 is also an acceptable amount to spend. But could I spend negative $2?
No.
No, not unless you got a job while you were at the mall and somehow got paid. Like, so this, guys, this is a new situation we haven't seen. This is going to become what we call a double inequality. 0, now you don't have, like, I'm not asking you to learn this right now, but I'd love for you to write it down just to know what it looks like. The amount we can spend, I could spend 0, I could spend 10, I could spend anything in between. But I can't spend negative, and I can't spend over 10, unless you brought your credit card. Isaac?
That X is supposed to be Y.
Okay, why? Sure.
But why?
Because it says let Y represent
I became a real pro at not erasing. My math teacher, Mr. McCulley, really loved it. When I would, like, change a 5 into a 6, right? Or, like, certain, you know, you can get away with not erasing. All right, and to give you some homework time, we'll skip part C. You got the last 8, 7, I don't know. Math is hard. Work on your homework.
Yum.
6.
Yum.
Delicious.
Hey, remember, the cheat sheets are in Schoology right now. I will have them printed for you on Friday. I'll figure out how to print in color. Like, I know how to print in color. I just need to make color copies.
Would Isaac Bailey please report to the Perry office?
Isaac.
Isaac Bailey to the Perry office.
Fine.
Yeah.